Cascais is one of the classic day trips departing from Lisbon. The seaside town has everything you need to provide an enjoyable day by the sea, and with the information in today's video we are going to make completing this day trip a breeze. We'll talk about how to get to Cascais, what to see in the town, and we'll do it with a day trip itinerary ready for you to make the most of your time. You already know how much we love Portugal here on the channel, a beloved neighbor of ours to which we have already dedicated many videos. Today we return to Lisbon to present another day trip, an absolute classic as it is the city of Cascais. Cascais is on the Atlantic coast of Portugal, just over 30 kilometers from the center of Lisbon. You can get there by car, which we do not recommend because parking in Cascais can be an ordeal, or by train, our choice because it is fast, inexpensive, offers beautiful views and an additional advantage that we will talk about later. In Cais do Sodré, next to the river terminal and the Green Line metro station, is the Comboios de Portugal station, from where the train line between Lisbon and Cascais departs. As soon as you enter the train station, you will see the ticket office, the ticket vending machines, and the barriers that give access to the trains. To buy tickets at the machines, first tap on the English flag at the bottom of the screen. You have two options. If you already have a Navegante card, which is the current transport card in Lisbon, put it in the place indicated. If you don't have it, you will have to buy the ticket and the Navegante card, which costs 50 cents. Here we will see how to buy a card and a ticket. For those who already have a card, the step-by-step is the same, with the only difference that you will not have to pay 50 cents for the card. Touch on buy ticket and card. Touch on stations. And now look for Cascais, which being the last station on the line appears last. We are tapping now to indicate that we want to buy a return ticket so that we don't have to go through the ticket office again when we return from Cascais. Choose the payment method at the bottom of the screen and you will see the total amount you will have to pay. The navigator card will appear at the bottom of the machine. As the card is for individual use, you will have to repeat the process as many times as necessary. If you already have a Navegante card loaded with zapping credits, and we talked about zapping credits in the video about public transport in Lisbon, you can use those zapping credits to pay for this trip, and it will be cheaper. €2 each way. We went to the ticket office because we wanted to buy a type of ticket that is not sold at the machines, called Bairro Museus Cascais ticket. It is a ticket that includes a round-trip ticket from Lisbon to Cascais and free admission to almost all the museums in Cascais. If you visit just 2 museums during your stay in Cascais, the pass will have paid itself. The more museums you visit, the bigger the savings. Throughout the video, we will mention the museums we visited that are included in the pass. The summary: to get to and from Cascais by train. If you already have a Navegante card and buy a round-trip ticket, you will spend €4.80. If you already have a Navegante card and pay with zapping credits, you will spend €4. If you need to buy a Navegante card, you will spend €5.30. And if you buy the Bairro Museus Cascais ticket, you will spend €10. So having explained how to pay for the train, let's get on board. To pass through the barrier, bring your card close to the reader to open the doors. All trains at the station run on the Lisbon-Cascais line. Check the panels and get on the next train to depart. Trains depart every 15 to 20 minutes. The journey time is 40 minutes. For the first few kilometers, the train passes through the city of Lisbon, through the Belém district. Farther on, it goes along the coast with beautiful views. The last stop on the line is Cascais. Once you go through the barriers on arrival, and to begin our itinerary, we will turn right and leave the station. In less than 10 minutes, we will arrive at the first visit of the day, the Mercado da Vila de Cascais. This market combines a traditional market with a gourmet market with bars and restaurants. It is important to check the market schedule because depending on the day of the week, it can be very quiet, as was the case the day we visited to shoot this video, or very busy with a traditional Portuguese market, which takes place on Wednesday, Saturday and Sunday mornings. We will now retrace our steps back to the train station and continue to the Alberto Romano Oceanic Pool, where we will begin an itinerary through the beaches of Cascais. The Alberto Romano Pool is a small pool that was built at the foot of the wall surrounding the Palmela Palace. Access to the pool is free. The itinerary now continues along some of Cascais' most popular beaches until we reach the Xeisas Palace opposite the town center. The first beach we reach is Praia da Duquesa, with calm waters and good infrastructure for bathers. The name Beach of the Duchess recalls the Duchess of Palmela, who in summer occupied the palace located at the beginning of the beach. Being in the center, it tends to get crowded in the summer months. Next is the busiest beach in Cascais, Praia da Conceição. It is the closest beach to the railroad station, so it receives many visitors arriving from Lisbon. At low tide, it forms a single beach together with Praia da Duquesa. It is a lively beach with many people practicing sports and beautiful palaces guarding the beach. We now take Rua Frederico Arouca, with its lovely Portuguese stone pavement, to enter the alley of Praia da Rainha, the Queen's Beach, and reach the viewpoint over the beach of the same name. The Queen's Beach pays homage to Queen Amelia, who frequented it in the 19th century. It is a small beach with calm and shallow waters, frequented by families with children. Along Rua da Saudade, we soon arrive at the Seixas Palace, a mansion built in the 19th century in a mixture of neo-Gothic styles. In the next part of the itinerary, we will walk through the center of Cascais and have lunch before continuing the visit in the afternoon, with plenty to see. On the day we went to record the itinerary for this video, there was a Ferris wheel set up in front of the center, and of course, we took the opportunity to climb up and admire Cascais from above. Praia da Ribeira, next to the Seixas Palace, is the closest beach to the center, but it's not suitable for swimming, partly because there are many boats moored in front of it. The center of Cascais has the charm that gives it its elaborate causeways with Portuguese stone and many historic buildings, as well as stores and restaurants. The plan here is to walk up one street, down another, and discover charming corners at every turn. The center is small and you will not get lost. We ate at a Nova Estrela restaurant, a nice little restaurant with very friendly service, where we tasted delicious grilled codfish and an even more delicious polvo alagareiro, a classic of Cascais and other parts of Portugal, made with octopus, cooked and then baked, accompanied with potatoes. For coffee and dessert, we went to the Bijou pastry shop, where we tried our fair share of local delicacies. Take your pick. And soon we were back at the town hall to continue the tour. There is still a lot to see. The next part of the itinerary is intense. Starting from the town hall, we will visit the Citadel, the Paula Rego House of Stories, the Museum of the Sea, the Cascais Cultural Center, and the Cascais Marina. As you walk up the street leading to the Citadel, you will realize the size of the spectacular fortress. The original construction dates back from the 15th century and was later enlarged and reinforced. It was designed to protect Lisbon from any attack by sea. In the 19th century, King Louis of Portugal had the citadel converted into a resting place for the royal family. A royal palace was built inside the citadel, which is now a museum. Inside the fortress, there is also a luxury hotel and an art center. You can visit the inner courtyard of the Citadel without paying, which is what we did. Inside, you will see several works of art. We left the Citadel to visit the Casa das Historias Paula Rego. This is a museum that contains a permanent exhibition of works by Paula Rego, a painter and illustrator who was one of the most international Portuguese artists, who recently passed away. On the day we visited, one exhibition was being replaced for another, so we were only able to see the architecture of the house, the work of Souto de Moura. Two red pyramid-shaped towers are the highlight of a project that architects love. The King Dom Carlos C Museum is next to the Casa das Historias. It is a small museum inaugurated in 1992 in the space formerly occupied by the Sporting Club of Cascais. It has several theme areas dedicated to topics such as biodiversity, the history of Cascais fishermen and fisherwomen, shipwrecks, marine fossils, and the role of King Dom Carlos in the development of oceanography. A short walk back the same way and we arrived at the Cascais Cultural Center. The center, inaugurated in 2000, occupies what was once the 17th century Convento de Nossa Senhora da Piedade, a religious convent. The center is now a space that hosts temporary exhibitions, mainly of contemporary art. It also has a small auditorium. You have to pay to visit the Casa das Historias, the Museum of the Sea, and the Cultural Center. But if you have the museum's quarter ticket we talked about at the beginning of the video, you can enter all of them for free. Another short walk and we arrive at the Cascais Marina. The marina is one of the largest in Portugal, with capacity for 650 boats. It has hosted important international sporting competitions, and in addition to the boats, it has an area for a well-off crowd with stores and restaurants. But walking around the marina is free. And let's go with the last part of the day, in which we will visit the Conde de Castro Guimarães Museum, the Casa Museu de Santa Maria, the Farol Museu de Santa Marta, and finish the day in Cascais at the Boca do Inferno. The Conde de Castro Guimarães Museum occupies the former São Sebastião Tower, built by an aristocrat of Irish descent at the end of the 19th century. The second owner of the palace was the Count of Guimarães, who donated the palace in his will to Cascais to become a municipal museum. The museum was inaugurated in 1931. The museum is interesting both inside and outside, with richly decorated rooms and an endless collection of various objects. As video recording is not allowed inside the rooms, we showed their contents from the photographs we took. You can take photographs. The museum is located inside the Marechal Carmona Park, which is free to access. Take the opportunity to stroll through the park and admire the beautiful tiles. In the park you will find the Chapel of San Sebastián, which dates back to 1594. If you only visit one museum in Cascais, this would be our choice. Nearby is our next point of interest, the Casa de Santa Maria, located by the sea, overlooking the Cascais Marina and surrounded by typical vegetation of the area. It was commissioned by the same aristocrat who commissioned the Torre de San Sebastián, which we have just visited, as a wedding gift for his daughter. The house was designed by Portuguese architect Raul Lino and mixes many architectural styles, including Arab influences. For 100 years, the house was a private residence. In 2004, it was acquired by the Cascais City Council and in 2012 declared a monument of public interest. The house is unfurnished, but it is worth a quick visit to see its beautiful tile panels. It is a very short walk to the next point of interest, the Santa Marta Lighthouse. In 1867, a 20-meter high lighthouse was erected on the site of a fortress that defended Cascais. The monumental complex was restored and reopened in 2007 with the addition of a small museum dedicated to the world of lighthouses. It is possible to climb to the top of the lighthouse. There is a fee to visit the Museum of the Counts of Castro Guimarães, the House of Santa Maria and the Lighthouse. With the museum's quarter ticket, you get in for free. Now we will take a pleasant 20-minute walk along the coast until we reach the final point of the day, Boca do Inferno, the Hell's Gate. The stretch of coastline that we will walk along is formed by cliffs and rocks where the action of the sea over time has created whimsical shapes. In the place known as Boca do Inferno there is a viewpoint where you can closely contemplate the action of the sea and look down into a spectacular hole caused by the action of the sea. On a calm day, it is a beautiful landscape, but it does not offer too many emotions. On a stormy day, Boca do Inferno lives up to its name. Access to the viewpoint is free. You could walk back to the train station, a half-an-hour walk through Cascais. We were tired by the end of the day and ended up ordering a ride-sharing service that for less than €5 got us comfortably to the station. Both Bolt and Uber operate in Cascais. Let's go over a few quick points before ending the video. Cascais can be visited any time of the year, but when it really dazzles is between late spring and early fall. Beware, on beach days Cascais can get very crowded, and the same applies to the trains going from Lisbon to Cascais, with everyone wanting to get to Cascais at the same times. We would not spend less than a full day in Cascais. We know of organized excursions that do Sintra and Cascais on the same day, that make our hair stand on end. When we talk to people who have done such excursions, we find that they have neither visited Sintra nor Cascais. If you want to sleep in Cascais, and sleeping in a city is always a great idea, you should know that there are many accommodation options with very high prices during the beach season and more affordable prices during the rest of the year. But Cascais is not a budget destination. We don't have any recommendations to share here since we didn't spend the night in Cascais, but if you find a place that catches your eye and want to know what we think, just ask. In the first comment below the video, we'll put links to all the sources mentioned throughout the video, and you will also find a link to a map of the itinerary on Google Maps so you can follow along with your phone as you wander around Cascais. By the way, if your phone accepts eSIMs, you should know that they are an excellent option for those visiting Spain and Portugal, looking for an internet connection during their trip. We talk about them in the video we are referring to on the screen now. As always, if you have any questions about the content of the video, take advantage of the commentary box to ask. Now you will see on the screen the complete list of videos we have already dedicated to Lisbon in the channel. There is a lot of valuable information to prepare you for a perfect trip to the Portuguese capital. We are waiting for you in those videos.